All right, I'm going to get to you guys here in a second. I got 3 scenarios that are going to play out. I got a text yesterday. I'm going to read that. I got it overnight. This would have been.
Is this about the horses?
No. Which, by the way, I really do wish you would have said that at 6 o'clock.
Well, I know you
didn't.
I totally
trust
screwed
it.
up.
It's amazing.
I was beating myself up over
guys,
it, too.
I have been pulled into offices over things that Lima finds out. Whipping himself. They don't know. It's just the sound next to Lima's ear that makes Lima go. That's how it works.
Okay, that's what I'd say too.
Yeah, that's what I say. And if you listen at 8:30 yesterday, Lima said you got somebody at a horse farm who said that Todd Monken was reaching out about moving his horses.
And I wasn't going to say anything. You pried it out of me because I thought it was lunacy. And even earlier in the show, in a break, I was kind of half smirking, half laughing, looking at my phone, and Ken's like, well, out with it. And I go, no, I'm not even going to tell you. And then finally you pried it out of me.
That's how you found out. That's almost how you found out about the London thing the first time around. Loose lips, man. You hang around with some high rollers, and they get a couple of drinks in them. They get all antsy in the pantsy, and they start telling you things. And here we are. You guys, the next time we go through a coaching search, about this time next year, what we need to do is pay attention to all the horse farms out there. Because for whatever reason, these guys, they make a lot of money, and they just want to get into horses. Here we are. Freddie Kitchens had horses. He has horses.
He said that was the biggest regret he had from losing the Baltimore job when they moved on from him there. This is Ryan Ripken's show.
I love horse racing. I'm bummed. I'm as bummed about losing this job as the Preakness perks I got. Now I don't know what I'm going to have to pay full price now. It's bullshit.
How did you find that? That's incredible. How did Todd, by the way, if Freddie had horses and he had horses, how did they not get along?
The horses? I'm sure they got along just fine.
Oh, no, I mean, Freddie and Todd. Was it like a thing where Todd looked at Freddie and was like, you eat butter and sausage by the carload, and then they started killing each other over the horses.
One was Arabian, one was calico.
They couldn't coexist. All right, so I got 3 here. 3 scenarios. I think either one of them I think one of them can play out over the next 12 months. You ready? Scenario the first. I think they like him. I think they think that they're closer than what we think they are, and they think that they are some offensive players. We already saw the Isaiah Likely thing. I'm like, I'll take Isaiah Likely. Come on over. The water is warm. I think that they like Isaiah Likely, they like Todd Monken, and they think that if they can get some people and add, that they can be much better than where they were last year at 5-12. What do you think about that? I think that is probably a likely scenario.
Yes.
Okay.
I believe that because think about it. I mean,
that doesn't take a lot of stones for me to say. I'm just you have to point out the obvious.
Like to hire a guy that's turning 60, it stands to reason that exactly that they feel like they're ready-made. They believe whoever the defensive coordinator is, they obviously think their defense is going to be really good.
Uh-huh.
And so I said at the end of the year by watching the playoffs, I'm like, man, even average quarterback play, even what would you say that is? Not Bo Nix was above average this year. Who's average right now? C.J. Stroud during the regular season was kind of average. Mm-hmm. Had they have gotten that, they're in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So do they think Todd Monken can get that quarterback room or somebody else to come in and be average? Boom, playoff team.
So which of the next 2 scenarios do you want to hear first? Do you want to hear the bad scenario, or do you want to hear the good scenario?
Always, I want the bad. I always want
first.
The bad.
Okay. Well, then this goes to the text I got last night. It says, quote, Monken wants Watson. So they're going to do the sunk cost.
Should have started out with the good.
Sorry. They're going to do the sunk cost. It's right there. Whatever you want.
Now, hold on. And that's somebody that knows or is speculating.
Yeah, well, everybody's like, well, he wants some quarterback who has some shake. Obviously, he can move.
Well,
I don't know if he can move as well as he used to. Well, we see the videos. I mean, he's working out like crazy, and maybe he can move as good as he did. It's been 2 years.
I wondered about that because I thought to myself when I watched Shador, when they even put in some RPOs at the end of the year, and Shador took off and ran a few times to help keep some drives alive at the end of the year. I was like, man, that's nowhere near peak Deshaun Watson movement, but that's something to build on. What is the Deshaun Watson movement at this stage of his career post-surgeries? I have no idea.
That's part of it. And I think Owen wants to say it, and I'll just say it right now, is for the Shedeur fans out there who are like, this is Shedor's job. Is it?
Well,
because if I'm getting that, and it's like, well, we're paying him $46 million a year, we might as well kick the tires. We might as well decide to see whether or not this guy can do it again. And while I think a lot of fans right now who are driving in some bad weather on the east side might not be thrilled to hear that, I think that might very well be the truth of the matter. Yes.
Well, the people that I talked to yesterday in the group I was with brought up that what were the teams that wanted to draft Shedeur last year?
Yeah, Baltimore was one of them.
Baltimore was one of them,
yes.
And who was the OC?
And it was Todd Monken. You are absolutely correct about that. You are absolutely correct. And obviously,
that came up more than once
at that time.
Around, yeah.
And you are right. And I would, any Shedeur fan out there, any Browns fan who likes Shedeur out there, and I'm a Browns fan who gets pretty defensive over Shedeur because I think some of the conversation is ridiculous. That was the first thought I had. I go, hey, that's a leg up. But when I'm getting texts about that, it's like, okay, again, who loves a sunk cost more than the Cleveland Browns? Who loves to squeeze anything they can out of everything they've already got and try to pay off their own decisions more than the Cleveland Browns? And if you're stuck, and you are, nobody's picking him up right now. If you're stuck, then here's a guy who maybe he walked in and goes, you know what? There's gold still there, and I can work with him. And maybe that was something that said something to them. $46 million is a hell of a lot of money. You would like to get your money's worth. There's a third scenario. You want to hear the third scenario?
Okay.
Third scenario is, and this is the crazy one, and maybe for our own sanity, this is the one you want to play out. I can only go by history. They know they're not going to be good. He's going to be 60 next year, or next week. He's a 60-year-old man. He might be at the end of his career. This is a way to cash out at the end of a career. He's been a good offensive mind. Again, it will not pass my lips until the season starts and they actually start losing games and he makes some stupid decisions. And I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but it's not going to pass my lips. I don't think he's a bad coach. I don't think he's a bad. In fact, I think he's actually been pretty good throughout his career. He's not bad. However, maybe he's at the end of it. He gets this head coaching job. You get this one last run. He's a bridge head coach. I know you hate that term, and we can get into it. We got 4 hours and a hell of a long offseason to do it. They've done it before where they went 1-31 for a quarterback. You know how the second half of the season went down in Texas. They know that they got a lot of dead weight on that roster. And they might know that they're not going to be a very competitive group. And they do have the easiest strength of schedule, so it's going to be tough to do it. And I don't like to root for losing. I never will. But, I mean, let's just call it what it is. I mean, Arch Manning's out there.
Well, okay, in this scenario, is Myles Garrett quitting the team? Because a team with Myles Garrett, you just saw it. You saw it against Pittsburgh. You saw it at the end of the year against Cincinnati. You saw it against the Raiders. You saw it against Miami. A team with Myles Garrett is incapable of tanking.
You're right. That is all up for grabs, though, because he's upset. He's clearly upset by his Instagram story. They may very well just go, you know what, enough's enough. We'll take that cap hit too. Now, that is the most, to me, I think it's the most unlikely scenario. That's why I called it the craziest scenario. But this is a team that is, everybody's obsessed with quarterbacks. I don't know if anybody's more obsessed with a quarterback than the Cleveland Browns. And they love to pay attention to their own history. They love to overcorrect their own history. And for the longest time, I did not think they would ever allow themselves to go back to 1-31. That it would, not that it would ever be good, like consistently good, but never to the point of 1-31, uninteresting, not really even likable in so many ways. And I'm like, well, the Manning family, it's Arch. He played exceedingly well in the second half. If he plays exceedingly well this year, he's going to be number one with a bullet. And they might just be saying, you know what, we've done this before, to hell of it. I'm sick and tired. And they're just going to go ahead and they're going to do what's necessary to go get Arch Manning. Again, I gave you three scenarios. The most likely scenario is probably the first one, that they like Todd Monken and they don't think they're that far away. Mm-hmm. And we're going to continue to go through this, and we're going to hope against hope that it's going to go our way. The least likely scenario is the one I just gave you, because I think it's the hardest one to pull off, easily the hardest one to pull off. And it just seems to be fantastical, and it seems to be insane. And then again, for your own sanity as a long-term Browns fan, How many guys out there are not hoping that that's the one? I think a lot of people are hoping, like, okay, well, we've been losing. I guess I'll sit through another year of losing if it means Arch Manning. Because I look at a team like Buffalo, the only thing that makes Buffalo any bit of a respectable franchise right now is Josh Allen. Let's call it what it is. I heard Ross Tucker yesterday. He hit it out of the park yesterday about Buffalo. The only thing that makes them a respectable franchise is Josh Allen. If they did not have Josh Allen, they'd be right here in the whirlpool with us. And so if you have a quarterback, it covers up for everything. And not that we'd be out of the woods with Arch Manning. Who knows how he'd be as a pro? I don't know, but maybe they're going to take their chance. Or more than likely, it's me getting ready for another tough season and me trying to make myself feel better. That's probably the most likely one out of it. Because I don't think that Todd Monken's a bad coach. But I think we'll probably get more of the same because he doesn't have a whole lot to work with right now. And the ones that he does have something to work with are so young. Mason Graham has not played anywhere near his best football yet. I think he will, but I still think he's 2 or 3 years away. He's a defensive lineman. They have to develop. You're not disagreeing with me at all. Do I still have you? Because you're nodding at. Okay. More than likely the first. I just laid out the 3 scenarios for you.